Shibashi Set 1. With all Qigong, you look after yourself. If it feels too much or painful, just pause or slow down what you're doing. We'll start with some warm-ups. Standing posture, trying to get ourselves all nicely aligned. And just starting to wiggle your body, just seeing how you're feeling this morning, opening up shoulders, armpits, elbows, wrists and fingers. Bring that energy into the hips, a little bit of twiddling and shimmer and shaking, and maybe even pick up the odd foot or two and bring all that into action. Lovely way of loosening the body, relaxing everything, checking in with yourself. Popping yourself back into that standing posture. Got my feet parallel, hip width apart, trying to connect up through crown gates and the top of the head to the heavens, aligning my chin with the floor but not too high. And we're just going to collect some chi from all around. So we're just softening those knees, sinking into the ground with your arms come round and just gather chi, bring it through the body. And just do this 3 times. Breathing in, saying hello to your lungs this morning. Making sure you've got room for yourself. Feeling the chi through the body, focusing to bring it down through the dantians, connecting up with earth. Brilliant. Let's start with some forward swings. Feet are just beautifully parallel. Breathing in and breathing out through your nose, if that feels okay for you this morning. And just letting the arms flow. The pendulum action, weight of the arms, creating their momentum. Flowing, opening up front of the shoulders. Hopefully some scapulars as well on the back. Take your time to try and relax, look around the room, look out a window if you've got one. Check out what time of day it is, whether you can breathe okay this morning, this afternoon, whether you're watching this. And we're going to pop it into some forward pumps just to get some energy really flowing. So bend the knees and whoosh behind us. Whoosh. Little bounce in between, whoosh, little bit of downhill skiing, whoosh, whoosh. Great to bring the voice into action, so you're really connecting deep into the body. Whoosh, whoosh. And when you've had enough of that, we go back to normal swings. Seeing how your body's feeling now. Let's do some turn swings. Make sure you've got enough room. I'm moving forward a bit. I'm going to just twist at the waist from one side to the other. Arms knocking on the gate of life. Energy points around that midline. We're trying to separate the waist from the hips. It's a bit of a clonk going on with my arms. And that's satisfying as it's working all the lovely muscles around that midline. And we're working on our core energy, core strength. And by twisting the waist separately from the hips, starting to wake up that spine. From the lumbars into the thoracics, twisting and turning. Allow your head to travel around the room as well. Gently opening up that neck, allowing it to look around, maybe right behind you. Slight bend of each knee allows you to turn slightly further. Arms aren't hitting you, they're just ricocheting off. We're going to slow that down. So eventually we'll come to a standstill, but really take your time coming to that point. Like a little machine that's slowing down, a little motor. Coming still, seeing how you feel. Okay, we're just going to open up the sides of the body by doing some handbags. On the side, bring one arm up. It's going to come all the way above you. As it comes over, the hand will hang loose off the wrist. And allow that wrist to be pulled up to the heavens. So this part of your body, the side, is stretched, and you look down the other side. Looking down at the other arm. And you can even wiggle and waggle the hand and the arm, feeling the muscles and flesh separate from the bones. We're pulling up and wiggling down. Beautiful. To the other side, opening up the sides. Pulling up, just feel all the muscles. Just having a little bit of a stretch or an opening, making some more room between the ribs. It'll help your breathing later. And allow that as if someone's just pulling you up like a bit of a handbag, sitting on a cloud above you. So both sides one more time. Opening, not a stretch, it's just an opening. If you use different words, tend to do different things. Words are very powerful. Both sides lifting up from the wrist, double checking the looseness of the other arm. Beautiful. Coming back to a standing point. Let's just work those shoulders, just lifting them up, using the elbows and dropping them behind. Lifting up and dropping them, circulating the shoulder joints by lifting the elbows and rolling back, and the scapulars can just melt down the back. Throughout these movements or these forms, just check in with your breathing. See how it's going. Is it calming down? Slowing down. Remember to breathe out. Much as important as breathing in. Beautiful. One more of these. And let's just check in with our neck. We're going to look to one side and drop down, just opening the back of the neck up to the other side. It's like we're checking out a valley below us. Looking at one side of the valley at the top, checking out the bottom, and coming to the other side. Let's do two more of those. Opening up the vertebrae in the back. And now let's look at the rainbow that has to be above us. From one side to the other. Looking completely from left to right. Opening up the throat. Moving right to the front and just some yeses. Up and down, looking at the ceiling, looking at the floor, feeling a little bit of a pull on the throat and the jaw muscles. Beautiful. Last one, hands on hips, and we're just rotating. A little bit of hula hooping. You can bend the knees. You can lean back as much as you like. Creating hoops in the air, in the horizontal. If it feels okay, turn the other direction. Always good to recognize different shapes you're making. Are each side equal, or are they a bit different on each side? And slowing down, feet closer together, and we're just going to come up onto the toes, lifted the balls of the feet off the floor, and then dropping down. Just a few of these, lifting up and dropping down. If you're feeling very wobbly today, you can always hold on to a wall or anything else that's stable, not another human being. Doesn't always help unless that person's very secure in what they're doing. Opening the toes up and the balls of the feet, you can feel all the bones having a little bit more room. We're checking out our balancing act. There we go, I'm really falling over too. Lovely. Shimmer and shake. Shimmer and shake. We're going to start our Shibashi Set 1, which is 18 forms. And let's see how we do. Standing posture. Check out, you feel like you're floating. And if you're not, if you're feeling very heavy, you might have too much weight on the back heel. So just bring an emphasis onto the front of the feet, as if you'd like to put a piece of tracing paper underneath your heels, very thin paper, but not quite. You've still got a connection to the floor. Soften those knees. Make sure that spine's beautifully long and aligned. And I think you should just feel slightly more floaty. Less about the bones on top of each other and more about the fascia holding connection to each other. Like a beautiful scaffolding experience going on, or sails of a ship. Here we go. Commencing pull, raising the chi. Hands to earth, and literally just bring up the energy from the earth and float down just in front of you. And then we're going to just check out our knees by softening them as if we're about to sit down behind us. By doing this, we're working on the quad, pelvic area, hips, just encouraging movement there and chi to flow. Commencing form, rising the chi. More of these. Do this yourself. You can just do as many as you like. When you're ready, we're going to move on to broadening one's chest. Raise the chi. Keep the elbows high. We're opening generously the hands. Bringing that chi back towards the chest and softening down. Rising, opening, contracting, softening. Broadening one's chi, and broadening one's chest. a lovely one to regulate your breathing with. Try and breathe to open your arms. Breathing in as we rise and open. Breathing out and close, up and down. Do one more of these, broadening one's chest. Number 3, dancing with rainbows. Popping an arm out, take the weight on the opposite leg, and we're just connecting to the top of the head, the crown gate, and then we're creating that rainbow from one side to the other. If you're dancing with it, check out the colours in your rainbow. With palm gate open in the palms of your hands, hand gates, feeling the connection of chi shifting from one hand to the other, bringing the energy of the beauty of the rainbow, pouring it through crown gate, 100 meeting point on the top of the head, allowing the energy to flow down. Do a few more of these. I'm bending one of my knees, the opposite of the arm sticking out, just to allow the weight to shift from one leg to the other. It allows you to turn and look at the open palm, feeling the chi flowing one side to the other. Last one, bring your rainbow purposefully over and back to the front. Circling our arms, we're going to separate some clouds. Crossing in front, if you're taking a jumper off, and opening. The arms aren't actually touching. Coming down, just a little bit of a soft bend of the body. Just to feel the difference. The chest more contracted and more expanded. Open wide your arms. Brilliant for working the muscles in the arms. Opening that chest, allowing the chi to come in, allowing you to breathe to all the areas of the lungs. Circling arms, or sometimes known as separating clouds, if you're just shifting any energy that's not wanted in front of your lovely shiny self. Shifting clouds from in front of the sun. The sun being your heart, shining brightly. I'm just going to shift some clouds and get it to shine even more. You can change up the arms as they come up. One in front of the other. That feels okay. Circling arms. One more of these. Our next one is twisting weight waist and swinging arms, and the arm comes out in front, and you take your opposite arm all the way behind, a ginormous circle, connects past the ear and comes down, moves along to the other hand as if you're holding a big ball of chi, and the other arm takes a great big handful of chi from behind in a big circular movement, connecting through past the ear, down to the other hand. It's like you're collecting chi from behind, bringing it down, connecting through the arms, holding it on that palm, creating a beautiful chi ball, getting stronger and stronger. Gather energy from other parts, concentrate it in one area. Twisting waist, swinging arms. Some people who recognize this movement, this form, sometimes we call this repulsing the monkey. Clearing out, clearing stuff you don't want on the arm, coming down, put it into that little ball. Big movement behind, coming around, gathering, collecting, storing. The lovely movement of the waist. If you can try again to separate the waist from the hips. Just a little bit of a twist. Encourages spine to move. Twist using all its different directional movement power. Let's do a couple more of these. Twisting waist, swinging arms. Brilliant. Lovely chi ball. Pop it in your lower dantian. Rowing a boat. Two hands. Big circular at the sides. Moving forward. Still working on that chest and those upper arms. Expansion of the body. Expansion of the shoulders, not just the joints, but right on top. The scapulars. Really helping with mobility. Movement of ribs for the lungs. Breathe into. Rowing a boat. If you like, you can just visualize yourself on a lovely lake. You're in a rowing boat. Rowing away. Check out the scenery. Trying to keep things smooth and as equal as you can. You've got one arm that won't move today, for whatever reason. You can just visualize that arm is moving, or lessen the more moving arm to join in with the less moving arm. See how that feels. One more of these. And let's hold a ball. Holding a ball round your tummy. And we're lifting the ball up. Turning the hands and bringing it down. And as it comes back through the lower dantian, the other hand's going to come out as if you're circling the ball around your waist and just lifting it up again. Holding a ball. The ball is coming up, throwing it to someone, bringing it back. Swapping hands around the lower dantian areas. the lower belly. Trying to let my heel come off the floor. I'm turning around, just want to throw that ball just a little bit further. Holding a ball. The emphasis is on the holding round your waist area, round the lower dantian, bringing that chi down to the storage area, kidneys and lower dantian. Smooth, flowing. Using the neck to turn, watch the ball, travels one way and the other. One more of these, pop that ball up into the air, bring it back, and we're moving on to carrying the moon. Quite similar, you come up, both hands come up, if you're pointing to the moon, but the hand that's coming across is connecting through to the armpits, softening down, we're going to the other side. And that hand is connecting through to heart one, right in the center of the armpit. An acupressure point, heart one. You're connecting through using your palm gate, which is in your hand, heart protector 8. So you've got a serious connection right through. And the hand in the air is just making that gesture to the moon. Maybe a wish. Maybe just asking for something. Maybe something you don't even know. Take a moment to look into the sky. Hand is gently pointing towards the beautiful moon. And then feel that deep heart connection right through the chest, via the armpit. Via heart protector 8, that palm gate. Thinking the knees as you travel past the middle. Allowing the rest of the body to join in. Carrying the moon. Do one more of these. Checking out the moon in the heavens. Bringing that energy right back to the center, and we're twisting waist and pushing hands. One hand holding the earth below, and the other hand's finding your central part in your body. And we're just pushing to the side. And back to that central line, swapping. And up we go to the other side. And this is another of that, trying to keep the waist separate from the hips. Hips facing forward, on top of those lovely standing legs. And then the movement is found within the upper chest, upper twist of the spine. You might have noticed you're swapping your hands and finding that chi ball again. Onto the body. Holding that chi ball, turning it, turning to look from one side to the other. Keeping the elbows open, and relatively high, lots of air underneath the armpits. Constantly expanding ourselves, finding a larger chi field around you. pushing out. So we're pushing hands to the side, pushing to side, turning waist. Let's do both sides one more time. From there, allow your hands to find that chi ball, and we are playing with clouds, and we're pushing them along and then turning them to the other side. The leading hand is the top hand, turning the chi ball, turning the clouds, pushing them back. Really turning, and this toe you can turn all the way from the hips, softening those knees. Playing with the clouds. Visualize colour, quality of the clouds to encourage them onwards. Ever reminding being of allowing life and chi to change and move on, never expecting anything to stay still. Change your hands either end. You almost see you're drawing in yang ball. Check this out. Drawing in the air. I thought this would be nice to do. Some sparkles in your hands. See the shapes you're making. Playing with clouds. Beautiful. One more. Take it to one side. Bring the arms back down. We're going to scoot from the sea. In the next three, we'll do 3 on one side and 3 on the other. Some people like just doing 3 on one side, and then your next day's practice, you do them on the other side. We'll do both. We're going to take a step 45 degrees outwards to one side. Bending the knees, you can soften yourself down, and we're crossing the arms again as if they're touching the water. We are scooping from the sea, leaning back slightly, opening those arms again. So if you're covering yourself in the water, you're just scooped up. Scooping from the sea. Taking the weight from one leg to the other, just by bending that front leg. And bend the back knee if you like a little bit as well. Don't wobble over. Very much like the separating clouds or circling arms. We've brought the sea into action as well. Wonderful for opening the hips up. And a little bit of that weight bearing from one leg to the other. Scooping the sea. Finding bending over very hard, then just imagine the sea is much higher. You don't have to bend down quite so far. From here, we're going to play with waves, keeping our feet in the same place. We are pushing the waves. Remember to bring the wave back. Weight just traveling from one leg to the other, forwards and backwards. And given the responsibility of shifting the tides, pushing the waves backwards and forward, playing with waves. Out your breathing again. Maybe you can slow down your waves and respond to your breathing out and in. Two more of these on this side. Play with waves. Weight traveling from one leg to the other. And from here we're going to spread our wings. Our feet are staying still on this 45 degree. Bringing our wings together on the horizontal, and we're opening as we lean back. Wide wings. Turn into that bird. Instead of hanging out in the water or at the edge of the water, we're going to fly up and over it. Spreading your wings. Weight traveling from one leg to the other just by bending that front leg, front knee. Keeping the body quite upright. Trunk of the body, movements in the knee. Feel the air under your arms. Fly on. We're going to take this to the other side. When you're ready, standing posture, foot out, and off we go again, separating the clouds. We're actually scooping the water. Feet 45 degrees forward, nice and steady. Keeping the weight traveling from one leg to the other by bending the knee. Opening up, hands going in the water, wherever the water is for you. Leaning back a little bit as you spray the water all over yourself. Anyone else that's in the room with you. Scooping from the sea. I always like to imagine beautiful, clear water on the edge of the sea, colouring all the pebbles, shining to feet just in it. Open the chest, don't forget to breathe. Scooping from the water, scooping from the sea. One more of these, scoop in, let's play with that tide again, all the waves, pushing, going back, and we're just keeping our feet in the same position. The weight of the legs, exactly the same again. It's just a different emphasis. Forward movement, bringing it back. Connecting through to the water element. Forward, strength, courage to move forward. Pushing away, backwards and forwards. Remembering to breathe. Regulating your movement. in with your breathing. That feels good. Here we're going to spread our wings. So I'm just going to put my hands back into that wave. And as I come back, I'm going to open my wings. And I'm flying forward. The feet have not moved. 2 feet suction padded to the floor. Allowing the body to move. And it's the same with the legs again. The front one's bending as you go forward. The back one's got a little bit of a bend. Just allow you to sink down, taking the weight from one leg to the other. And keeping our body quite upright. Arms are on the horizontal with the shoulders. And we're flying. You check out, you're not going to wipe something off a shelf behind you. Your big wings. I'm tickling the wall. My hands, I move. Feeling that sea breeze beneath your wings, breathing in a little bit of sea air. Looking forward, enjoying the view. 2 more of these. Your arms are tired, you can always lower them. Try and relax the shoulder. Beautiful. Bring that energy back into standing posture. Now, next one is punching. Punching with an angry gaze. I'm just moving myself slightly off center to the computer. So I've got my hands in a soft fist, palm up, and the other hand too. Thumbs are out. And I'm bringing my shoulders back by taking my elbows back. The hands right back by the waist. Softening those feet, softening the knees, sinking down, keeping the pelvis upright. And I'm punching out the twist to the palm, now facing down. Bringing that energy back with twisting the hand again. And we're off again. One arm, then the other. Check out a location straight in front of you, keeping very straight and aligned with the body. This is often known as punching with an angry gaze. And if you are at all feeling frustrated with anything in your life at the moment which is causing any emotional upset or possibly straight anger, you just squint your eyes slightly, creating a bit of an angry gaze. Keeping the smoothness of the punching, looking at a very specific pinpoint on the wall. And help with calming some of your frustrations. Focusing in on what the issues are. Checking out whether your emotions are appropriate situation. So you can just be slightly more in control of them. Breathing in, keeping yourself very aligned. Shoulders don't move forward very much at all in the arm movement. Punching. Two more of these. Seeing how your breathing is going. Do one more. Bringing that to the side. Pausing. Popping my feet quite neatly together, softening the arms, and we're going to fly like a goose. It's an upward movement at the side, big wings, going to take you up. And if you like, you can come up onto those toes and balls of the feet as you then fly down. And then we can soften the knees, as if you're sitting down on a chair behind you, as your wings take off again. So just travelling the side of the body, flying like a goose, big bird, serious migrational ability, travel a long way, flies quite high up in the sky to do that. Lovely to get that feeling of just lifting up, flying like a goose. Checking out that breath again, breathing in, breathing out. Keeping those arms and shoulders really soft. Like that feeling of coming up onto the balls of the feet adds another dimension to the form. One more of these, flying like a goose. Coming down, relaxing the shoulders and those arms, bit of a shimmer and a shake. We're going to go into spinning wheels. So let's take part of our wheel and we're going to bring it all the way up, do a 360-degree movement with our arms. If you can just bend at the at the hips and drop down. Turning your hands appropriately so they're both holding part of the wheel to move around. Keep those knees soft. Shifting that wheel, spinning the wheel, feeling the sides of the body joining in. Like you can feel the weight of the wheel come up, bringing it upwards before it goes down again. The next time you're down, we're going to change direction. Allow the energy to take you the flow the other way. Spinning wheels, turning and turning. Sometimes known as the water wheel. Gets that back in action where the bladder meridians are encouraging water elements within you to move, feel free. Do one more of these, water wheel. Movement from the hips, beautiful. Finish, arms up, slowly bring them down. Coming quite near the end now. One of our near to the end ones is called bouncing a ball, and it's opposite legs to hand, bringing up the hands and the opposite foot, softening down and bringing the other one up. The energy taken from one leg to the other. If you've got enough energy in you today, just add a little bit of a hop, feeling like you're just free to move a little bit more, innocently playing with your ball out in the garden, bouncing a ball. Bit of a balance from one leg to the other. This is one of these ones that if you lift your heel off the ground, you have a little bit of a shake of everything in the body. as it comes down, realigning parts of the body, popping them back in their better place, bouncing a ball. A couple more of these, bouncing away. One more. Beautiful. Last one, pressing the palms. Draw up some energy. Turning the hands very particularly to face down and pushing down. Pushing down really slowly. Drawing up the energy again. Pressing the palms down. Feel some chi underneath your hands. And also guiding that chi through the body. Taking any heady, hot energy, bringing it down through the body. Cooling it as it goes. Pressing the palms. This is a brilliant form for any anxiety rising in the chest. Encourage the movement downwards. Let's do 2 more of these, pressing palms. Again, when you're practicing this at home, you can just do as many as you like, or equal to the other forms. So I'm going to finish at the lower dantian, holding chi ball. We'll be finding and cultivating the last session together. You just pulsate it. You probably will feel beautiful energy within it. If you can't feel anything, just visualize you're holding a beautiful, clear orb shape with a sparkling ball that will move your hand. Breathing in, breathing out. Expansion of chi. You're going to take this chi into the lower dantian and rub down the body, smoothing in the chi. Whatever feels appropriate as we come to the end. Rubbing any bits you've used more than others. Don't forget your face and hair. It's like probably dry shower. Fantastic. Finish our session with 3 claps and blow through our hands, and we know it's definitely finished. 1, 2, 3. Thank you for coming. See you again soon.